Hi LEGO fans, it's Steven, and this week we are back with another LEGO set from the upcoming The Batman movie from LEGO and Warner Brothers. This week we're taking a look at set 70904. It's the Clayface Splat Attack. Let's jump to that time lapse, let's see how this thing is put together, and then talk about it on the other side. Here it is the Clayface Splat Attack. Let's start by taking a look at the minifigures. And of course we have Batman. It's the Batman LEGO movie, so you kind of have to have Batman. One thing that we haven't really talked about in some of the previous LEGO Batman movie builds is the addition of the Bat utility belt. It's an additional piece that you add in between the legs and the chest piece to, I guess, make the suit a little bit more complex, and it also makes Batman stand up a little bit taller than the other minifigures. It's a nice little addition, but to be honest, I don't see any real benefit to it other than an aesthetic piece that comes off of the print. And I know Batman dressed in black may not be something that everyone is looking forward to in every version of these LEGO sets, but I know a little something about Batman coming up in some of the other sets that will set this apart. So for now, it's Batman all in black. Next up, we have Mayor McCaskill, or Mayor McCaskill. Don't know how you pronounce her name completely. We'll find out in the movie. It's a regular minifigure based on the character from the movie. Nice hairpiece. I don't think I've seen this hairpiece before, so that is nice and new. Overall, nice pantsuit for the mayor. She'll play an important role in the movie, I am sure. But there she is. In other LEGO sets, we've had maxi figures, but we've never had a maximum figure that we get in Clayface that we have right here. This is the bulk of the 448 pieces that comprise this set, and wow, what a textured beast Clayface is. There's not a lot of mobility in this figure. I mean, you can move the legs around if you want, but ideally you want this chunk of plastic to be able to stand and move his arms around so that you can get to the action pieces of this set. I particularly like the head of Clayface in the way that it's designed with those glowing eyes. And yes, the head will move around, so you can put it into a bunch of different poses. The mouth doesn't move, but I think that's okay. If you haven't already figured out, this Clayface is based on the Clayface that we know and love the most from Batman the Animated Series. There have been a number of Clayfaces in the comics, but none of them have the instant recognition as the one that we've seen in Batman the Animated Series, and that's really cool. Of course, Clayface can form his body into almost anything he wants, and so one arm has a hammer. You can have his arm transfer into a hammer so he can smash the Batman whenever he wants. That's pretty cool. The other arm is a Gatling gun shooter of studs, because, of course, Clayface should be able to throw bits and pieces at himself, at his victims. And, of course, with Mayor McCaskill, you can actually encase her in a bunch of mud, or clay, but mud. One of the nice features about Clayface is maybe you don't want to use the hammer, or maybe you want to use the hammer sparingly. You can interchange the arms, so you can have two Gatling guns on the arms, or you can have one be the hammer and one be the stud shooter. That's a nice touch, and I'm glad that LEGO and Warner Brothers incorporated that into this build so that you really get the feel that this character can transform himself. This is a pretty simple set. There's not a lot of pieces, like I said, 448 pieces, with the bulk of it going right here to Clayface. But I gotta say, this might be something to get. I mean, you don't it's not often that you get a figure of Clayface in a Lego set. I mean, we've had Gorilla Grodd, which is a maxi figure. We have had some of the other big giant figures that have come up, like Darkseid, but nothing compares to the bulk that you get with Clayface. And so for that reason, I really think you ought to consider picking up the Clayface Splat Attack as part of your Lego collection. Batman and Mayor McCaskill, probably not that big of a deal, but can you imagine having a Clayface in your collection? That's really cool. So big thumbs up from me. It's Clayface. It's a bad guy. More bad guys the better when it comes to your Lego collection with Batman. That wraps it up for this Lego build. If you enjoyed what you see and you want to see more, then consider becoming a patron over at our Patreon page, patreon.com/majorspoilers. There's a link in the show notes. Also, if you're looking to buy this set, we have an affiliate link down there as well. We really appreciate your support there. If you have any questions or comments, there's a comment section down below. Everything's down below. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at majorspoilers. Check our website out at majorspoilers.com. And until our next Lego build, take care.